Welcome to 30-minute yoga in the woods in the evening. We'll start our practice on the mat, grounding ourselves, allowing your shoulders to track away from the ears, situating your feet. I invite you to raise each toe deliberately and place it on the mat to feel grounded. Hands at heart center, closing your eyes, feeling the breath come in through your nose, travel down the back of your throat, into your belly, and feeling the expansion in your body as you inhale, and feeling the exhale, releasing any tension you have. I invite you to open your arms, open your hands, your palms to the front of your mat. Keeping your eyes closed, and the open palms are in receiving mode. And raising your arms up towards the ceiling, towards the sky, and we'll dive our hands down to the mat, fingertips touching lightly to the mat, keeping a bend in those knees. And just feeling where you may feel some tension in your legs or in your body. And then rolling slowly up towards to standing. Raising your arms once again, bringing them together, heart center. And then raising your arms back up and down and around, touching your fingertips to the mat. And if you are feeling called to take this a little bit further, you can rest your belly on your knees, on your thighs, and rock your arms back and forth. And then come back up slowly to standing. Raising your arms up towards the ceiling, palms together to heart center. One more time, we'll swan dive back down, fingertips to the mat. Then fingers and hands to your shins, straightening your back, and then once more, fingertips to the mat. Grabbing your elbows, and just allowing your neck to hang freely as you release your arms, your elbows, and come up slowly to standing. Lifting your arms up towards the sky, hands to heart center once again. And from here we'll move to the long side of our mat. Maybe a little bit wider than hips width distance, placing our feet. And then opening our hands once again into mountain pose. So really feeling the groundedness all the way in your feet, all the way up your legs, into your torso. Feeling your core engaging completely. And then shake it out. From here, we'll move into willow tree, allowing your arms to swing back and forth gently tapping your torso, waking up the spine. Your heel can lift, and if it doesn't, that's fine too. Moving with your body, and coming back slowly to stillness, shaking it out a little bit. And from here, we'll move to hands and knees on the mat, making any adjustments that you need to make as you make your way onto the mat. Feeling grounded. And then we'll move into cat-cow, really feeling the spine ripple up from the base of the spine all the way up to the neck. chest opens, and then chin to chest as you make your way to cat, moving with your breath, really feeling the heart opening as you lift your chin. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, chin up, heart space open. Again, moving with your own breath. And then stepping your right foot forward towards your hands, feeling a nice hip stretch, keeping your hips square to the short end of your mat. I invite you to bring your palms together as you drop that right knee out gently to get a little bit of a different hip stretch. And then moving your hand back out to frame the foot to get a hamstring stretch, flexing those toes and straightening the leg. Then back to hands and knees to step the left foot forward. Really feeling that deep stretch in the right hip space now, keeping those hips square. And then again, I invite you to bringing your hands together on the mat to drop out that left knee out to the side to get a little bit of a different side hip stretch. And then a hamstring stretch on the left side, flexing those left toes. And then back to hands and knees. Tucking those toes in, raising the knees off from the mat slightly, and then we'll move slowly into our downward dog, keeping a micro bend in the knees as you go into upside down V. You can bend your knees as you like, maybe walk out the dog, keeping those shoulders away from the ears, allowing the neck to be loose. Then we'll come to a gentle plank position. Back to downward dog, raising those hips back up into upside down V. And shaking your head yes and no if you'd like. And then moving back into plank position just for a few moments, a few breath cycles, and then back into downward dog, raising those hips to the sky. I invite you to lift your left leg up towards the sky, and then dropping that knee over to the right side, opening up that hip space and getting a stretch on the left side. And then slowly bringing that knee up towards your chest to lay it gently on the mat so that your leg and your knee is underneath your chest. And dropping your back leg down to get a deep hip stretch. Keeping the left foot flexed throughout this pose to protect your knee. If it's available to you, you may lay on top of that leg that's bent, or you can keep your chest up away from the knee and the leg. And we'll stay here a little bit longer. When you're ready, tuck that right foot, those right toes down and back into downward dog. Walking out the dog, getting back to balance, coming into a plank pose. You can drop your knees. We'll move into child's pose, widening those knees to the width of the mat, dropping the forehead to the mat, and stretching out those arms up over your head. Just breathe. Coming back to hands and knees, making any adjustments necessary. And tucking the toes, coming up into downward dog. And coming back into plank pose and shifting back into downward dog. Lifting that right leg up towards the sky, bending the knee and dropping out over to the left side, getting a little bit of a different stretch in the side body and your right side, and then bringing that knee towards the chest, laying that leg down onto the mat, making any adjustments, keeping that right foot flexed as you feel that deep stretch in the right hip area. If it's available to you, go ahead and lay down over the leg. And you can back off from this at any time. You can raise up, back up to just hovering above the leg, or you can lay over top of the leg. Just breathe. And from here, placing your hands on the mat, tucking those left toes down, bringing that right leg back towards the left and going back into a downward dog. And then we'll walk our hands slowly towards our feet and come into a standing forward bend, and then rising slowly up to standing. And then shaking it out, raising the arms up towards the ceiling, hands, palms together at heart center. One more time, raising the arms up towards the ceiling, sky, and then we'll swan dive it back down. Fingertips to the mat. It feels so good. One more time. And then from here, standing at the top of your mat, we'll move into the warrior pose variations. Stepping that right leg back, a wide lunge. Swinging those arms up towards the ceiling. And then moving into warrior two, swiveling that right foot down to the mat, bringing the arms to parallel to the floor, gazing at that middle finger of your forward hand, your left hand. Deep bend in the knee. Resting your elbow, your left elbow on your knee, swinging that right arm in front of your body, making a line from your fingertips all the way down to the outer part of your right foot. Moving into reverse warrior, bringing your right hand to your right back leg, raising that left arm up towards the sky, gazing towards your hand, and coming back up, making your stance a little bit closer, raising your arms parallel to the floor as you cantilever your hand to your left hand to your left leg, or wherever it lands, keeping those legs straight and strong. Your right arm towards the sky, gaze is soft. And then moving and stepping forward. Stepping your left leg back. And keep your hands on your hips, or you can swing them forward up over your head into a wide lunge. Just arriving here. And swiveling that back foot down to the mat, opening up that hip, keeping that right knee deeply bent. Hands and arms are parallel to the floor. Gaze is to your right middle finger. Warrior two. Breathe. Bringing your right elbow to your right knee, swinging that left arm in front of your body, making that long line from your fingertips down to the outside of your left leg. Swinging that right arm up as you go into reverse warrior, bringing those fingertips to your back leg. Gaze is up towards the sky, keeping that knee, that front knee deeply bent. Then we'll move into triangle pose. Bringing those right fingertips to the right front leg, cantilevering. Left arm is up towards the sky. Neck is neutral, no straining, no forcing. Breathe. Inhale to come back up to standing and then stepping up to the front of your mat. Raising your arms up towards the sky, hands to heart center, and then swan diving back down to your mat, fingertips to the mat. Grabbing your elbows again, swinging if you'd like, and then coming back up to standing. Arms up towards the sky, hands to heart center. From here we'll come back down to our mat. Laying down, heels towards your back body, knees are bent. We'll lift our hips towards the sky into bridge pose, grasping your hands, clasping them together. Neutral neck. And breathe. Release down to the mat and windshield wiper your knees back and forth if you'd like. Crossing your ankle over your knee. You can stay right here and maybe press your hand down on your knee, or you can bring your legs towards your body, clasping your hands behind the knee to bring your knees closer to your chest. Flexing your feet throughout this pose to protect your knees. We'll stay here just a little bit longer. With each breath in, with each breath out, release a little bit more. Releasing your feet to the mat. And crossing the other ankle over the knee. Again, can press on your knee in this stance right here to get a deeper stretch, or I would invite you to lift your leg off from the mat and clasp your hands behind the knee to get a deeper stretch. Flexing those feet throughout the pose. Soft, even breaths in, soft, even breaths out. Inhale, release your feet to the floor. Windshield wiper your legs if you'd like again, releasing any tension you may be holding on to. Crossing your right ankle over your left knee, dropping that leg down over to the left side. Extending your right arm out to the right and gazing at your right hand if it's available. Getting a side stretch. So your right leg is over to the left side and your gaze and your arm is over to the right. Coming back to center, across that left foot, that left ankle over the right. And gazes over to the left. Using your hand on your knee and your leg if you need to. Always listening to your body. And then coming back, your feet on the floor. From here, grasping your hands on your knees, rocking back and forth slowly to get a nice massage in the back. And coming back up to a sitting position. Preparing for boat pose. Raising one foot off the mat, then the other in the bent position. When you're ready, allow yourself to come into a boat pose, engaging the core, raising your arms up. You can keep your arms clasped behind your knees, or you can open your hands up towards the ceiling, sky. Do that one more time. Engage the core, dropping back down to the mat. I'm going to do banana asana. And get a gentle side stretch, crossing the right ankle over the left, raising your arms over the top of your head, and grasping your right wrist with your left hand, getting a side stretch on the right side, then moving over to the other side, crossing your left ankle over your right ankle, and grasping your left wrist with your right hand. Just a nice gentle side stretch. And from here, coming into your final resting pose. If you need a bolster or a blanket or a cushion, whatever helps you reach the final relaxation, I invite you to stretch your legs out all the way. If you'd like to keep your feet together, do what feels good for you. And as you lay on your mat, feeling your head heavy, your neck relaxed, shoulders sinking into the mat. Maybe you need to tuck your tail down to settle your lower back. Breathe deeply in and out through your nose. And as you come out of your final resting pose, wiggle your hands, wiggle your feet, and come onto your side, placing your head on your arm. And as you're ready, push up to a gentle seated, comfortable seated position. Hands to heart center, closing your eyes. Thank you, thank you. Namaste.